Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Friends from Work. I'm Tom, this is Sean, and on today's episode we are going to be discussing James Gunn's updates regarding the DCU. But before we do that, do us a favor, leave a like and subscribe right now. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok, links are on the screen and down below. Other than that, let's get right into it. So how this is going to go is I'm just going to give all the broad points first, and then we're going to go by announcement with all their shows and movies in general. So Gunn did address that DC has been connected. He was like, yeah, I understand it's been connected. My main goal is just try to get everything under one main storyline. It was cut up a lot on his Twitter, but the long thing was like he ranted for a few minutes like saying, all right, like I understand we have 5 different Batmans, this and that and the third, and we don't know what we're doing, just a movie by movie, and we're guessing. And then he states that him and Peter Safran are going to connect everything, and when he says everything, he means movies, TVs, games, and animation. So from, I guess, the start of Chapter 1, Phase 1.
Phase 1, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, he calls it Chapter 1, but it's basically Phase 1. Everything's going to be connected.
Wasn't it called, what, Monsters and Gods or something?
Yeah, Gods and Monsters.
Gods and Monsters.
Gods and Monsters, that's called their first chapter. And to clarify, everything he announced, it is not everything that's coming out for this first chapter, just a portion of it.
Yeah, because I saw something, too, where, like, he didn't address the Penguin. I saw something like, is Penguin canceled or whatever?
No,
because they never mentioned him.
So that's my next point. He did address that the Joker franchise, the Todd Phillips and Matt Reeves' Batman, Teen Titans Go, are labeled under DC Elseworlds. So they're still going to do their own thing. I assume that Penguin show is still going to come out, but it's under DC Elseworlds. It's not going to be connected to the main.
Well, yeah, I guess they got away with that because that's like a prequel, right? The Batman thing. So like.
Yeah, but even then, he didn't want to have any confusion. So they're their own world. Like it's another universe, so to speak. Yeah. So that worked out. And Gods and Monsters. Oh, yeah. All the characters who are, whatever the actors are going to be announced, they're going to play the same, obviously, in live action. Also going to be the voice acting. So there's a show that we're going to get into in a sec called Creature Commandos. All of those people who are voice acting are going to be the live action actors and actresses that they will, whenever they do a live action movie with them.
Who are the Creature Commandos?
I wasn't really too sure. He didn't break that down enough. I don't have. That's the least amount of notes I have on.
Yeah,
that.
I don't really know what that show is either. So
yeah.
We'll see.
So but yeah. Then he also mentioned that Shazam 2 connects directly to the Flash. So I'm assuming the ending of that goes right into the Flash, and also it comes out right after, time wise. And he did state regarding Zachary Levi. I guess he made
everybody but Superman and Ben Affleck.
Pretty much. Oh, yeah. That was a conclusion point. I'll bring that up right now, might as well. He said that Gal Gadot, Jason Momoa, Ezra Miller, and Zachary Levi have the doors open to reprise their roles in the DCU. He also states that their main goal, also to make sure it's connected, is to make sure we stay true to the storylines that they're being told on screen, obviously with like a unique twist, so to speak, but like staying true to the big main plot points of whatever story they're trying to tell for each superhero and the franchise overall. And speaking about Batgirl, I want to bring that up real quick. Safran actually mentioned that and I'm glad someone brought this up. It wasn't under wraps. That the film was just basically unreleasable. It was not good. It would hurt DC.
So he said it was that bad.
Yeah.
I can imagine the show was god awful.
Yeah.
No one cares about Batgirl. Like you can't do Batgirl until like they might have been able to pull it off like after Dark Knight, like after a really successful Batman. You can't do a Batgirl when DC's in shambles. Like that's all my problem with the first iteration of who was running the DC universe is like your shit's in shambles. You trying to do all these other movies. It's like get Batman and Superman right first. Yeah. Do about 2 movies of those that are good. Get a trilogy going that's good. Then you could do a fucking Aquaman movie or like, you know what I mean? We got that on rep. I think they weren't focused like that's how Marvel did it. They like Iron Man 2. Then they started getting you got to build your characters first and the main ones. Marvel just had more, so it took a little longer. DC, all you got to do is Batman and Superman. We don't really give a fuck about any of those other guys. And their backstories aren't that intricate that you would have to do anything anyway. So it's like get Batman and Superman right And then, if you want to go, if you really even wanted to waste time doing other, but it's like, how is there 2 seasons of a Batgirl show?
Yeah.
And a Batgirl movie? There's not even a Batman show.
No.
Like, how are we doing?
There's like a prequel.
Yeah, I can see if you did a Batman show, it went 6 seasons, and there was a Batgirl in, and you did a spinoff.
Yeah, that's different.
What the fuck are you doing a Batgirl? 2 seasons of a Batgirl. It's like, you don't even got you don't got a Robin show.
No.
Like, what?
Oh,
it's like,
God, don't even fucking
I think that was in the era of, Marvel did it too with Captain Marvel. It's like, there was just like girl power.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, there is cool girl characters you could do. Like, why are you doing the stupid ones just to thinking you're going to build off of the, you know what I mean? Like I said, the girl power movement and just do that. It's like, Batgirl flopped so terribly bad. Like, nobody liked it. I never met one single person who said Batgirl was good.
They also kept recasting too. Like, I think they went through 2 or 3 different actresses.
It's like, that show was trash, and it's because you didn't do a good Batman. Like, we'll watch your stupid Batgirl.
Not even a good Batman. There wasn't a Batman.
Like, we'll watch your stupid Batgirl show if it, like, has to do with Batman and, like, you built it off of that universe and she's fighting some of his old villains.
Right.
It's like nobody cares about a complete, like, her own villains, it's like nobody cares. Like, we want to see Batgirl fighting Joker after Batman died, maybe. Like,
and even then is with we can bring up any Robin. Like, now we can have his own, but at some point we all want to see Batman.
Yes, exactly. Unless you do like Teen Titans arcs, okay, because they're bringing other people into the fold. But we don't want to. You can't do a Robin if you haven't done Batman first. Who cares about Robin? Like, people like Robin.
We love him more, but you still want to see Batman for an episode.
Exactly. So I know James Gunn and them they're focused on let's get Superman and Batman right.
But so. Creature Commandos is they didn't say when it's coming out, but it's an anime series. It's written by James Gunn, but the sound of it's going to be like a dark comedy-esque is my guess, and that's a theme that I'm seeing a lot of, and I want to bring that up towards the end of the episode. I don't really have a lot about it. It looks
it's trying to think of that dude's name.
Who?
The big dude who looks like Frankenstein. He's in the comics a lot. Huh?
Doom Patrol?
No, I'm trying to think. But it looks like a Suicide Squad type thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't read a lot of these.
No, I've never.
For DC, most comics in general, I only read like the main shit. I don't really get off the main storyline. Like I read Batman. Oh, and mostly just Superman, but I read Superman. I like Green Lantern a lot. Green Lantern has some really good comics.
Yeah, we'll get into him too, but you'll like that a lot. So that's an animated series, and James Gunn did also highlight that they every animated series at some point they're going to interact with the primary heroes and characters at some point, so that'd be intriguing. Waller is next, and I'm actually pretty excited for this one because I like Viola Davis.
I like her vibes. It's usually like it works. I'm fine with you doing weird like off ball cast shit when it's like they're working with her. Like that makes sense. Where it's like you're making this big ass movie where you know what I mean they're saving the I don't know. But I am interested in
series, too. Though.
Yeah. Well, I just meant in general what they've already done before. But I am intrigued too because I'm interested to see there can be like some off-brand villains. Or
I
heroes
assume it's gonna be like BC listers. Superhero wise.
Yeah, introduce some people that are gonna come back later. So that's why. And she does a good job.
Yeah, it says it's the series is created by Crystal Henry, who wrote Watchmen, and then Jeremy Carver, who created Watchmen, and then Jeremy Carver, who created Doom Patrol. Takes place between seasons 1 and 2 of Peacemaker, and she's teaming up with members of Team Peacemaker. So my guess
I was literally just gonna ask you if like the old
Diebeard
and the blonde chick, she was in the end of Shazam or not Shazam, Black Adam. Yeah. So I'm assuming she'll be in it hardcore. And it'd be cool if I guess Peacemaker doesn't have to be in it.
Yeah, maybe I don't know, but it's definitely Diebeard and Hardcore.
Yeah, they were good too. So
it's a live action series, obviously, and I'm guessing it's going to be a dark comedy. If he brought up 2 points regarding Peacemaker, that was a dark comedy. Actually, had some serious aspects to it, but it was a funny show. Oh yeah, it was darker.
Yeah, I guess I would say it was a comedy, but it was like drama and like action. Really,
it was funny.
It was just like a really good movie. It's hard. It'd be hard for me to say it was just a straight up comedy though.
Yeah. No, I would say it was like a dark comedy.
Yeah, even to say dark comedy, I just thought it was like you could say it was a drama or an action show with some comedy. Like I don't know, like
it was a well-rounded show.
It was very well-rounded.
Next is Superman Legacy. Gunn states this is the true beginning of the DCU. I assume for like the phase 1. I don't know if this is actually starting it. I'm really here. It's a pretty bland statement. It's written by James Gunn. It's currently still being written, and he expected to drop it on July 11th of 2025. So we got a couple of years, and basically it's the second year into Clark Kent's life as Superman and working for the Daily Planet. Daily Planet, right?
Yeah, Daily Planet. Yeah.
So it's gonna explore that, which brought to my attention that we really haven't seen that in a long time. Maybe in the shows, or like the new show Superman and Lois.
Sure I mean, yeah, I guess he didn't work there.
Regarding the movies,
but no, the old movies he was the ones before with Brandon Roth.
Yeah, no, I'm saying
it's just been a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we haven't seen. I mean, we haven't seen that in a movie recently.
Is Superman Legacy a comic? I'm not like
no, not that. I'm gonna look it up. I don't think it is though. I thought
because he used a specific cover, and I wasn't sure if this was like just cover he wanted to use to announce it, or it was tied to a comic line. Because when he announced, we're not doing it just yet, but when he announced Batman, that was actually from the Grant Morrison timeline. I've read a couple of the volumes of that, and I never finished
no,
it.
the cover reminded me of it. We talked about it. I actually said which one. I can't remember what it is, which comic it is. But to get into it, I'm a diehard Superman fan.
So you can kind
of I didn't. I'm still pretty upset about the Henry Cavill thing, just because all this shit he's saying.
Yeah.
And in Man of Steel, he hadn't been working at the Daily Bugle yet either, right?
A Daily Planet.
Or Daily Planet. Why I keep saying Daily Bugle? Spider-Man.
Yeah, they're all similar names. They fucking calm down.
He hadn't been working there yet, or he was working there.
He was there, but they barely showed it. I forgot who talked about it. I think shout out to New Rockstars. They brought this up, or someone on TikTok, one of those two. They said, and I agree with this. It went from in the Henry Cavill thing. It was he just started working there, and then the next time we saw him, he was fighting Batman. Like, it never really highlighted him.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So it's like, why couldn't we?
That chunk,
yeah, why couldn't we just do that? Like, or say, you know what I mean? Before he started Batman, he really wasn't into. I don't know. The reason, like, they said they were getting rid of him because they were going to go younger. This doesn't seem like. I guess he's a little older, but you could make him. I mean, he's Superman. He looks kind of older than he was anyway. So.
And Henry Cavill doesn't look old.
No, he doesn't. And I don't get it. I was telling Tom the other day. I think whatever happened with The Rock, whatever shady shit they claim The Rock did. I think like they are tying Henry to that because his agent was Rock's ex-wife or whatever, and all that stuff, and like The Rock basically like went behind their back. Yeah, because Henry's
been silent.
Yeah, and
he
Rock
made his announcement.
Rock. I'm assuming it seemed like they were saying that Rock went behind his back and got Henry in the movie. They never wanted Henry in the movie in the first place.
Yeah,
but he wanted Henry in the movie because he needed it to go good.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's like Henry Cavill's being punished. I don't understand what the story they're telling right now, why it couldn't have been him.
Well, regarding the story, I know they want to start from square one, but I do agree with if they did say several other characters could say. The only one I could 100% understand staying, it wouldn't make a huge deal, is Shazam. Like I said, he never really interacted with anyone, so that's fine. You can work with that, but everyone else has interacted with.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like if all of them are going to come back, why the fuck can't Superman come back? They all met him.
Yeah.
So it's like that part. Movies. It's like I don't know. I'm not big on conspiracy theories, but that makes me think that like, did Henry Cavill do some shady shit or that? You know what I mean? Like, why is Gal Gadot They like we're a team. Yeah. They fucking saved the world together. Now all of a sudden they're all gonna come back and be like, "Hey, new Superman. Well, I'm just doing my thing."
Yeah. Well, they said they're open, so I don't know if they're actually gonna come. Gal Gadot said she's not coming back. With Ezra, they said he's on his way to recovery because all of his crazy shit he's been doing lately. So we'll see how that goes. I don't know with that.
I'm saying they probably left the door open because they ain't doing no more solo shit for them. Mm-hmm. So they're like, oh, if we ever need them again, it'll be the Justice League movie, and they'll just come do a one-off.
Yeah, maybe.
And then we don't have to do their story because we already kind of did their movies. Yeah. That's my guess. I hope they pick a new Superman to get off of the Henry thing. I am going to be, like I said, I'm not the boycotting type, but that kind of rubbed me the wrong way because Henry just seems like such a nice guy.
Yeah.
Thought he embodied the character, and I thought whatever story they did, he would do a good job, and I felt like he's getting blamed because of how they ran it the last time.
Yeah, regarding Henry, I've never heard any controversies ever, and like not even just like no comments regarding it. I've actually had the polar opposite of like, and this is no shade to David Harbour, but a different scenario. So when he worked with Millie Bobby Brown, he kept professional. Millie would ask questions of like, oh, how's your wife, kids, da-da-da-da-da, or like anything like maybe that's crossing like a professional line. Maybe that's not, I don't know. But regardless, anything that was a little too personal, he'd be like, we're not talking about that because he saw her as a kid. I mean, she is a kid comparatively. But versus her and like David Harbour and everyone else was like an adult on that show. They were super close, discussed everything with each other. That's not a diss or negative light in David Harbour. That's just a different. Yeah. They grew up with each other type thing. So it's probably like a uncle niece type of role with him and with those two. But I've always heard like positive things, and he's a nerd and stuff like that. But I do want to read this quote. I don't know if this is the full quote or not. I just looked off straight from Twitter. James Gunn says, they didn't fire Henry Cavill. Henry was never cast for the new DCU. For me, it's about who do I want to cast as Superman, and who do the filmmakers we have want to cast. And for me, for this story, it isn't Henry. So I'm not really sure. It was pretty Hollywood response.
What does that even mean? Like, it's such a fucking like PC answer, and it's like I'm trying not to hate James Gunn. But I really like Henry Cavill, and he's like a gentleman. And he's an actor that's like super relatable to the people.
Yeah.
He's got a great fan base. Everybody loves him, and it's like that's such a bullshit answer. Like, what does that even mean? Like,
I don't know.
The Superman you're thinking looks more like who looks more like Superman than him?
Right.
My only guess is like maybe they're trying to hire. I heard the dude who played the original Superman, Christopher Reeves. I heard his son's an actor. Maybe they like trying to pull on some of the stuff. I don't know. That was like when we were doing the studying for the fan casting. I saw that was out there. I don't know. Maybe they'll do that, and they're just trying to tug at heartstrings and make some money. But I mean, Henry Cavill like embodies the role.
He was great.
I guess they made it seem like they were going to go younger.
Yeah.
But the Batman story is him being older.
Yeah, I'm very.
So how does that gonna work? Like, so it's gonna be an old Batman and a young Superman.
Yeah,
like,
I'll get into the Batman Grant Morrison thing in a bit because but it's very confusing. I will say
so
that.
I won't jump too far ahead, but like that's where it's like he's just like I said. That's why it makes me seem like they just don't like him because all the shit they're saying why they didn't hire him don't make no sense. Like I said, at first it was like, oh, we're going younger, and it's like now they're not. He's just like even if he was 30, we'll say Henry Cavill's 30 in the movie. It's like. It could be a second year at the Daily Planet, and he's 30. You know what I mean? You could be, you know what I mean? He went to school. In that universe, he was in Antarctica or Alaska working. It's like he could have came back and just started working there. Maybe it was year 3 or whatever. Yeah. And then, like I said, now, it's not that he was never hired. It's like, what do you mean he was never hired? Yeah. He was already Superman. Of course he was hired. Yeah. He is fired. What are you talking about? Like to say, he wasn't fired. Yes, he was. Like if you're not starting over from him being a kid, you fired him. You don't want him. You're saying that you and the filmmakers don't want Henry. Like you guys don't envision Henry as your Superman. It's like, but everybody else does. Yeah. So you fired him. Fine, do that, but stand on it. Don't fucking give us some bullshit like you said Hollywood talk.
Yeah, that was a pretty Hollywood.
It's just vague. And I like James Gunn, and he usually isn't the type to bullshit like that.
That's what I'm
saying. I think it's got some other shit we don't know about.
Yeah,
it has to do with The Rock.
We'll have to investigate more. Yeah. We'll see. Eventually, it's all going to come to light
eventually it is.
Point.
But like you said, Henry's been real quiet. Rock's even been real quiet. And like I said, James Gunn's been very, like, more vague than I think he's ever been.
More vague regarding Superman.
Yeah, about really what he's doing and, like, making it, like you said, we didn't fire him. What the fuck? What are we, stupid?
Yeah.
Like.
But yeah, so yeah, we'll probably do a video on that. Like we've probably done 15 videos on DC with James Gunn at this point on that channel.
We are single-handedly trying to keep DC relevant.
Yes, we were trying to save you guys. Cut the check. Jimmy, just hop on the pod. Alrighty, next is Lanterns. It is an HBO Max series. It is co-starring Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, and he called them Space Cops.
How's that gonna work?
So basically, it's inspired by True Detective, so it's a darker tone. They're investigating, this is directly what he said, terrifying mystery that lines to the overall main story. So whatever the mystery is, whatever the investigation is, it's going to connect to the main DCU Chapter 1 Gods and Monsters story. And like I said, most likely going to have a darker tone. So yeah, I've never read Green Lantern. I always saw it as a light-hearted type thing, like a Superman.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Okay,
no.
Like I said, I have.
It is kind of darker, but at times, I'm intrigued to see why it's like Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan. Like, is it like they're from different like? Yeah. They like I forgot which, but one of them patches the torch to the other one. So it's like they weren't the Lanterns at the same time. So I'll be intrigued to see how they do that.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's a flashback situation where they're going back into his storyline and then him, and it kind of I don't know. But I'm very excited for that, and I'm glad they're doing a series because I don't think.
Yeah, he said that.
You really can't do the Lanterns in one movie.
An
because
hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, because the backstory alone's like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like if you really want to get into it, even like with people who know it, it'd still be cool to see it. Like in the Ryan Reynolds movie, you got to go fly to that planet, you get your lantern, you learn all the shit. Like So you have, and it's like, okay, fine, you don't do that right away. But in a TV series, I'm assuming they'll just do flashbacks.
Yeah.
But either way, you need like 5, 6, 7 hours to tell the story, a good
and
story.
That's what James was saying. He's like, we can't fit this in a fucking movie.
Yes, you cannot fit it in a movie. Like I said, the first movie would basically have to be like all explaining with no bad guy or anything. So I'm glad they're gonna do it as justice and kind of stretch it out. But like I said, I don't want to confuse the word, but I don't know how it's gonna be a true detective with like Hal and Jon Stewart. I'm not an expert. Maybe there is some comic where they're lanterns at the same time, but I thought they were lanterns at different.
Yeah, I'm not 100%. Like I said, I'm just relying on you with that info. I'm not a big Green Lantern guy. I'm pretty.
It's probably my second favorite in DC, but the comic wise.
Yeah. Next we do. Oh, what time actually do we got? Yeah, we're good. Next we have The Authority. It's set to be a movie. Gunn states this is a passion project. Like I said, I've never heard The Authority ever. It's based on the marvelous Wildstorm characters, and then they will eventually interact with primary DCU characters. The basis is the team believes the world is broken and will fix it by any means necessary. When I heard that, it gave me like The Boys type of violence. So I think I'm just gonna say it now. I keep trying to hold it off, but overall, it just gives me this vibe that James Gunn's not going to be afraid to get dark. Maybe some movies are rated R. I feel like this one may be rated R. He's like, all right, DC, they want to keep it family friendly for sure, but like DC is naturally darker. So for some circumstances, some movies are going to be rated R, a little gorier, little rougher, etc. So I'm really glad he's doing that. I've been trying to hold off that point for like the past 4 fucking points, but everything he says makes it a dark as shit. Alrighty, we're back. So you guys heard my nose. It was getting rough out here. But yeah, so I'm intrigued with this. It gives me like he's doing a lot of this lately, like Creature Commandos. Is that what it's called? Yeah. Creature Commandos and Authority is giving very like when he made the Suicide Squad. That was I guess giving similar vibes. Maybe this will be a little more story to it, so to speak, instead of just let's go get a bad guy. But I'm intrigued. Like I said, I don't know. Like I said, it seems pretty dark. I feel like it's going to have that same tone as the Suicide Squad did. Dark comedy is my guess. Some brutal action. Alrighty. Excuse me. Next on the list, we have Paradise Lost. It is going to be an HBO series. It's set on Paradise Island, which is Wonder Woman's birthplace. And it will be set before Wonder Woman's born and how Paradise Island came to be. And James Gunn stated it's inspired by like Game of Thrones and like Westeros, that whole situation. So it's pretty much gonna be like, how did this island become only filled with women, etc. So I'm actually intrigued by this. I'm glad.
Are you sure it's gonna be that? I mean, aren't they Amazons? So isn't that why they're always only women?
I don't know. That's really sad.
I'm assuming like maybe how they came to power, like how the power structure came to be.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not a big Wonder Woman fan at all. But that actually sounds like an interesting show, just because of the build-up. It sounds cool.
Not to me. It sounds boring. Like it seems like a waste of a show. Who's interested in the fucking inner dynamics of the fucking politics on the fucking Amazon? Like,
well, if they do it right, especially with HBO, like I said,
I'm not saying they can't be interesting. I'm just saying nobody cares. Like, that could be doing something better than that. Like, nobody cares about what the fucking Amazons were doing before Wonder Woman was born.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think they should focus their fucking efforts on something else. Like if they're going to be do a Flash, do another Flash, start setting up your other Flash or something. I don't know, or Cyborg.
Maybe they are. Like I said, they only announced part of it, so it seems.
I just seem like that seems like a silly thing to do. It's like it ain't even Wonder Woman. I could see if it was like a show about
when she was becoming.
when she was a kid or something, like a teenager. Like that'd be kind of cool. But like, the fuck cares about a bunch of Amazons that are never going to do anything in the future ever?
Yeah, they all are dead. Next is my favorite thing. Obviously, is Batman: The Brave and the Bold. It's a Batman and Damian Wayne storyline. Guys, James Gunn watched our episode. He heard us. He saw our TikToks. We are finally getting a fucking Robin. So leave a like and subscribe right now.
Be Robin?
Leave a like and subscribe right now if you want me to get Sean and get a new co-host. Cause
he could be Nightwing or something. I don't know.
Stop it. Just stop it. But yeah, thank God we're finally getting Robin. We've only asked for like a fucking decade and a half now. It's based upon Grant Morrison's run. It will introduce the Bat family, and I took that as we're gonna get a lot of other things, but.
Probably Tim Drake. Well, maybe introduce some of those.
Yeah,
Robins.
so basically when I read it, I never finished it, but the part where I was at, that you didn't find out till like another. Oh, spoilers by the way. Obviously, fucking 30 minutes in. Or spoilers for this part if you don't want to know. This is just a theory if he's going off this run, but excuse me, you find out at some point when I was reading that Bruce has gone missing or is out of town or is dead or he's missing or dead, one of those two. And it's been Dick Grayson as Batman, and it's been Dick Grayson and Damian Wayne. And Damian Wayne's always a dick, but to an extent. But he's not fucking with Dick being Batman because he's like, I'm the true heir. Because Damian Wayne is like super serious, like all the time. He takes the shit a little too seriously. So it's that. But the part I'm a little confused with is when he said Grant Morrison's line, is it going to be like starting off as Bruce and then going to Dick? Like, I'm very confused with that part.
Well, my guess, if you think it's going, they'll probably start. The first one will just be about Bruce, and maybe at the end he goes missing in the end scene, and then like you said, the next one, and at some point in that movie they introduce you to Dick and know that he's the old Robin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he knows, you know what I mean? There's contingencies in place for him to take over if anything happens.
Yeah, because Damian Wayne is the youngest Robin. So when they said when he was being the Robin. And James, put two together. If they're doing the youngest Robin and James Gunn knows how to do fan service, this means we have Nightwing, Tim Drake, Red Hood, Jason Todd, I assume Batgirl, obviously all the other
Well, him saying Bat Family makes me think at least two. What are there? You just named 4 of them. At least 2 of them will be in it.
Yeah, guarantee you, Dick Grayson probably.
Yeah,
I hope
Dick,
Jason Todd.
And like I said, I'd say 2 or 3 out of the 4. Maybe not all 4.
Yeah,
but I'd say what was the Batgirl was
Barbara Gordon.
I was gonna say Gordon's daughter, and Tim, Jason Todd, and Damian, and Dick Grayson. So I'd say we probably get 3 out of the 5 of those.
Yeah,
maybe not all of them.
I really hope it. Obviously, you guys know how I feel about Red Hood, but hear me out. James Gunn in general is always focused on like family storylines and like emotional storylines. So like if they're starting with Damian Wayne, you saw like, the family dynamics or the relationship dynamics between Damian and Bruce, him not being a real father, all that. Bam, that's one family point. Dick Grayson, first Robin, etc. That whole storyline where it can connect with Damian and Dick and what I said earlier regarding Grant Morrison. And then if you write it right to like make it really emotional, Jason Todd obviously
gets killed. Yeah,
gets killed. He's been left behind, etc. All that shit, and that's a gut wrenching story there if you do it right on screen. Yeah. So I was like, that's why in my head, I'm like, I'd be really surprised if it's not Dick, Jason, obviously Damian. Probably, I assume probably get a Batgirl just because of how it can connect and just today's. Maybe Tim Drake. I don't know. I think he's the least popular out of everyone.
Yeah, if I had to pick one, I don't know. I would say maybe Jason Todd. Out of the 4, I would say Jason Todd's probably the least popular.
Wow.
Yeah, Dick's the most popular.
Yeah, Dick.
Because he's Robin.
Yeah.
And like the Teen Titans, he's Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So he's the most popular. Damian, because he's actually his son.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that also confirms that Talia al Ghul. So I assume she'll be in this movie as well. Obviously Ra's al Ghul. Is it Ra's or Ra's?
Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul. They've said it like 15 different ways. Ra's al Ghul will be in it. Obviously Lazarus Pit, all that. So yeah, I'm very excited to see it. I'm actually excited to see how young they're gonna do Damian Wayne, because Damian Wayne's like 12. Like,
yeah, that's why I'll be too. Like I said, I'm interested to see what Batman they pick. Well, I just feel like this would have been a perfect casting for Ben Affleck, but I guess they didn't. Like, where was your son in the other movies?
Yeah,
but I guess he could have just been like, he ain't around. Like, I'm doing Batman shit. Like,
and like he was raised by assassins his whole life. It was like only till like recently-ish he was introduced to him. But yeah, well, I'm intrigued. I'm very excited, just mostly because I'm excited to finally see a Robin on screen, and I really do. Minus like the Superman casting controversy regarding James Gunn, in general, I think he's doing the best. He's doing a really good job so far with constructing an overall storyline. Because he said it a few times. He's like, "Okay, I get it. DC's been in shambles. I want to make everything cohesive." From video games to movies, like everything is the same actor, same character throughout everything.
Yeah, like I said, I just think that they're punishing Henry Cavill for all that. Like, maybe it's not a Rock thing. I just think like he was everybody's favorite. Everyone remembered him the most here, and they're like, all right, we're gonna throw him out because he's, you know what I mean, people remember him from the old ones.
Maybe it's too much of a big distraction.
Yeah,
probably say Ben Affleck.
Like I said, I don't know. Ben said he didn't want to do it anymore, right?
He was very interested in directing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he said he didn't want to, like, so I understand that. But like I said, with this arc,
we'll see.
Where they are, what the story they're telling, it's like, I think they could have used Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill. Yeah.
Yeah. When they announced Damian Wayne, I'm like, really?
It's just like, I don't think people would have cared as much as they think about you reusing the same actors. It's like, who cares? Make it better.
If you're resetting he really. James Gunn said that Flash is resetting the storyline.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that too. And again, I completely forgot this point too. You're literally doing some weird shit where you're like, all right, we just changed the timeline. So it's like, okay, Henry Cavill never worked at the Daily Planet yet. The military doesn't know who he is. He never met Lois yet. Like, you're resetting the time. Like that's how. Like I said, that's what Flashpoint does in the animated series. He resets the timeline and a bunch of subtle shit changes. Where like, and they go back to the beginning. Where like, first time he saved his mom and she doesn't die and it fucks everything up. And then the second time he lets his mom die, but he changes subtle shit. Like some shit obviously changed because he did it a different way. And it's like, they could have just did that. Yeah. Ugh. But I'm going to try not to hate on it too much. Like I said,
I want to see how it goes.
Yeah. I'm trying to watch it on bias. I like DC a lot. I like Superman a lot. I want to see them do good stories. But like I said, I think it was a misstep. And until I see the new movie in 2025.
Or a trailer or some new updates.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think that my mind's going to change about that until I see the movie.
Something new, yeah. Well, yeah. So, obviously you guys, every time they do big announcements like this, we're going to do an episode on it, obviously. Sure. Next on the list, we have Booster Gold. It's an HBO series. The synopsis is...
Booster Gold's the guy who runs fast, right? What does Booster Gold do?
He's a loser from the future.
Okay. He's got tech, and he pretends to be a superhero, right?
So he's a loser from the future, takes the future tech, brings it to our present day to become a superhero and make him look so everyone can love him. It's basically imposter syndrome is basically what James Gunn said. So that'll be really intriguing. I don't know if they're going to make it funny or it's going to be like really dark and serious. It was funny. Someone said they like cast Anthony Starr. I was like, I wouldn't be mad at that. That'd be a good one. But there's some good people you can cast in that role. Yeah. But I'll probably read up on him and be curious.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that. They picked
the right guy. That's something I think is like a peacemaker like character where it's like funny and serious, and I think James Gunn will kill that. Yeah. I think it'll be really good, especially if they pick the right guy. And there's a lot of people I think that could fit the mold. It's like what I would envision. I know they can't get him, but somebody like him, like Ryan Reynolds-esque, is somebody I would say like Zachary Levi is a good, but he's already Shazam, obviously. But somebody like that, Chris Evans, I think like
Chris Evans would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be good because we see a lot of it.
He's like a pretty boy, like who's like you said, sarcastic, pompous, like. He said some imposter syndrome, wanted to be like he was a loser in his time, and he's a hero now.
Who else would be I don't know. I don't want to think about it too much right now because then as we'll get in our fan cast and we'll get off track. But yeah, I don't know much about him.
I think that'll be good.
Yeah, that'll be a good show.
I would bet that's going to be a banger. That's right up James Gunn's alley. That's like Peacemaker. That's like Suicide Squad shit where I think he can nail that. Where it's like it's not so much pressure to do good, so you can be quirky and you kind of do a little bit of your own story.
Have fun with it. Yeah. Next on this list, excuse me, guys, we have Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. It's based on Tom King's storyline. It's going to be a very heavy sci-fi film, darker toned. I didn't know about this, but she was raised on like a piece of Krypton where everyone she saw around her like died gruesomely for 14 years before ever coming to Earth. So he said, unlike Superman, it's going to be a darker, more quote-unquote jaded tone. So that made it intriguing for me. Like I said, we're not big Supergirl fans.
That'll be after Superman?
No, there's no order. Okay. He never said the only.
Well, like I said, that movie it would depend on where it.
I would assume after.
Yeah, so if she like shows up to Earth and Superman's there and they kind of have a thing, that'd be kind of cool.
So just based off that premise, I'm like, I like that. It sounds interesting. Like it'd be. I'm like I said earlier, I'm really glad they're going to darker tone.
There's a few different storylines with them. So like that one, I remember that story where like she's like more of a warrior when she shows up. Some of the other ones like Clark and her get shipped off at the same time, but like her pod goes through like a wormhole or something and shows up 10 years later, and she's just a nice little girl like Clark was. But yeah, there's some where like she shows up like where she and where like she was off planet
Yeah.
in Krypton, everybody dies, and she was the only one left stranded, and then she eventually makes her way to Earth looking for Kal-El.
So yeah, I'm interested in that. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about that.
Yeah, it's hard to tell because you don't know, like I said, how it's going to incorporate into everything else. And Supergirl, she doesn't really have her own villains or anything like that either. So it's really how they've built up the world, and she enters it and like messes shit up.
So yeah, based off that premise, it sounds like that's the best bet to go with because people like darker tones. I'm just gonna say bluntly, whether or not whatever the climate of the world is today, it is hard to push a female superhero just because it's been oversaturated, and B, majority of the time, or I'd say 50-50, I'd say 60-40, that the stories are not that good and have a very oversaturated agenda, and it just doesn't hit well with an audience in general.
Especially in the hero. This is what the problem is, like, the why people love heroes, they have the hero's arc where they get fucked up, where Superman's a loser, like, and now when they do these girl superhero movies, they're like badasses the whole time and perfect. Like Miss Marvel, she's a badass pilot, the number one, you know what I mean? Like cream of the cop girl, then she turns into Super Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel, who can't be killed by anything. She can beat Thanos up. And it's like, that's just not how, like, that's not the hero's arc. Yeah, people like the hero's arc. And unfortunately for a girl, people don't like seeing girls get beat up and down in the mud, and like it's just what it is. Like, I don't know what it is. Like I said, what I would allow my son to do and what my daughter do are two different things. Right. I would love to see my son struggle in the mud and, you know what I mean, get knocked down and get back up and get knocked down. It's like, I don't want to see my daughter get knocked down and get back up and get
knocked down. Bitch, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna stop you. I'll be to help her. Like, I'll do it for you. Like. So that's just what they're working against. But you can make good, badass superhero girl movies or heroes. There's been plenty of them. You just have to kind of be the traditional hero arc and not try and make them like, oh, we're even more powerful than all the boys because, you know what I mean? I have a period too and I'm a superhero. It's like,
this is from a while ago, a little off track here, but the Wasp, that actress, said when they first announced Quantumania, she was like, she called out Marvel for this, or like indirectly called out Marvel for this. She was like, my character is like, she was always smart, this and that, was very good in hand-to-hand combat, all this. She's like, but she hasn't gone through struggles yet. As an actress, I really want to go through like a struggle with her. Like, she's always been like this cookie cutter perfection. She's like, I want to have like a struggle.
That's why people don't connect. It's like people even like Ant-Man. He lost his daughter, went to jail. Like, that's what we want to see. Like, and they leave that out of the girls because they're like, just making like girl power. They could do everything. It's like, they could do everything a man would do. Start in the fucking mud like they did, and then you're doing the same thing, and we'll like it just the same. Yeah,
because reading this Woman of Tomorrow, that little snippet, it honestly makes me want to go buy that little.
It's interesting. I don't remember. Like I said, I don't remember.
14 years of seeing fucked up.
Yeah, I don't remember reading that one in particular, but I remember like that version of Supergirl entering the universe, and she was a badass.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It just sounds good. Like it's like I have no issue with obviously. I don't have any issue with as female superhero, but like I just need a good story. There are some Batman stories. You guys know how I feel about Batman. There are some Batman stories that never even finished because they're just god awful.
There's bad stories on everybody.
Yeah, it's just how it is. So just tell a good story. God damn it. Mm-hmm. The last thing they announced was Swamp Thing. It's going to be a horror film / origin story. They haven't said who's working on it yet, or maybe I missed it. But correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I believe they said it was going to be set in DC Elseworld, so it's not connected. I'm not 100% sure. I was really confused how he phrased it. James Gunn phrased it weirdly. I don't know if he said, I don't know.
I'm guessing it's going to be in its own space anyway. Swamp Thing's usually like he's in the swamp and people are fucking with the swamp. Yeah. So it's like, what do you need Batman for? That anyway?
So, I'm really
It might be. I'm assuming it's just going to, even if it is whatever world it's in, it's going to be its own thing. Yeah. Like, the fucking Superman's not going to show up to the swamp. Like,
no. So, I mean, I'll watch it. My shout out my tattoo artist, Bob. Right? Yeah. I think it's
Shout
Bob.
Him out. Doesn't even know his name.
That dude who did my back. He's a huge Swamp Thing fan, so I know when he heard this announcement.
The first one was pretty good.
They made a movie?
No, there was a show, right, on the DC Universe, right? There was a Swamp Thing show on the DC streaming service, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm positive. And I think it had rolled over to HBO Max.
I mean, everything from DC.
No, but I meant like they just...
Oh, continued it?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that. So I've been wanting to get in some of the comics.
Yeah,
but
2019, one season. Or no, but it didn't roll over, yeah. but it was on like the DC streaming service. I remember because I had it for a while, and it was okay. I liked it. It was better than some of the other shit they had on there.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm fine with that, doing a one-off thing. But yeah, again, to reiterate, guys, everything that he announces is obviously not the entire first chapter of Gods and Monsters. This is just specs of it.
Yeah.
So obviously it sounds a little discombobulated. Some of it doesn't sound too connected. But obviously once we see trailers, casting, and the whole first chapter, obviously we'll have a better idea where they're going. So yeah, I mean, do you have any final points you'd like to share?
I mean, I've said it a bunch of times. I hope they pick a good Superman. I guess all will be forgiven if they do that and tell a good story. Like I went on the tangent at the beginning as well. Just do Batman and Superman right.
Yeah.
Don't worry about this other shit. Like, there's really, like, if those don't work, nothing else matters anyway.
Correct.
So just do good shit. Like, you can make good Batman and Superman. The rest of your shit could suck, and nobody's going to care.
Yeah.
If Batman and Superman are awesome, we'll deal with it. Like, it's kind of like Spider-Man. Like, the Marvel's got to make a good Spider-Man. You can make a shitty Iron Man 3 or whatever, but Spider-Man got to be hitting. And I think that's what Superman and Batman are. You can't be building the whole universe without them being the fucking center 100%. Of it. Like, everything should build upon what's happening in their shit. It's kind of like Marvel did Captain America. Like, all his movies were plot movers. Like, none of the other movies had anything to do with, like, the grand scheme of things. But Captain America, he's the leader. And that's the same with Superman and Batman. Like, whatever's happening in their story should be, like, what's going to extrapolate out into the whole arc of the phase.
Yes.
And that's what they need to be doing. And I hope it seems like they're going to kind of go that way. I'm glad they're, like I said, we're finally getting our Robin.
Shout out Robin.
Like I said, I'm good. I'm glad to see another Superman story, but after all this shit, I just, like I said, I'm sad Henry is the one who had to, like, take the fall for all that. I feel like he took the fall when he was the one carrying the torch and trying to bring it back to life.
Did the best he could.
The whole time it was in the shits, and then when they finally get it back up and running, they're like, "Oh, you're out of here."
Yeah.
So
that is unfortunate.
I didn't like that, but I like James Gunn a lot, so I guess I'll give him some grace to fix the fucking shitstorm that he didn't create.
Yeah. He walked into, like, catastrophic. I can't even say it.
Catastrophic failure.
Yeah, catastrophic. Fucking whatever. It was a shit show.
He's a rapper.
Spit. But yeah, no. I am. Obviously, I said this before when we announced it, or when he announced it, and we talked about it. Again, I am very excited to see a Robin. It's been so long. Last time, what? It was Batman Forever. With George Clooney and Batman and Robin, so I guess that.
I watched it the other day. I watched like the middle of it with my wife. That movie's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
I thought the costumes were just whack, but that was in the 90s, so it's like they just didn't know. But the costumes sucked, but
it was okay.
It was a typical Batman movie. I just think we're spoiled now because they're so awesome.
Yeah, it's so different now. Yeah. But yeah, and I am trying to not give too many assumptions. It's hard for me with Batman, obviously, but with everything else, like, Sean is doing his best too regarding Superman, but same thing for him, how I feel about Batman. It is hard for him to deal with that. Also with Henry Cavill, I do agree with somewhat. But I truly do trust James. You've seen in our other 15 episodes regarding DC updates, is I really do trust him. He's never really done anything that disappointed me, or has said anything, or done anything around that I see him in a negative light. Yeah. He's always seemed like, I love these characters. Like, he did, like, what was it? Oh, shit, what was it? He said
Didn't they say where they're trying to get James Gunn to direct Superman 2, right? Or Batman, one of those.
I believe Superman Legacy he's doing. Yeah. Because he's writing it, so I assume he's going to direct it.
Yeah.
Like he said, The Authority is a passion project. So who the fuck knows who the Authority? I don't know who they are.
Yeah, that's what he said about Peacemaker too, right?
Yeah,
was like he wrote it during COVID, and like he had envisioned John Cena to play.
Yeah, so as I say, so I really do trust him because he knows so much, and so with his knowledge, and he's never really done anything wrong regarding superhero storylines or done injustice to any of the characters. So I really do have high hopes for the future. Like I said, when we get to the end of this year, maybe there'll be trailers or some shit, or we don't know.
I mean, it'll be at least we'd have somebody cast for Superman and Batman by then.
Oh yeah. Also, Joker Part 2, Joker 2 and Batman 2 are coming out in 2025. I forgot. Or
2025 or 2024.
2025 for Batman Part 2.
Damn.
Yeah, but
what's that? 4 years? 5 years?
2. It's 23.
What? No, I'm talking about since the other one came out.
Oh, it came out last year, right?
At the beginning, it's been like.
But he's writing it right now. Matt Reeves is writing it right now. He's in the midst of writing, he said. But yeah, I forgot to mention that.
Oh, he's still writing it? They're not even. Oh, wow. Yeah.
So it'll be 2025 when that drops.
You think you'd write them all together? Like, or at least, you know what I mean? Like, kind of write the second one right after you're done with the first
He probably
one.
had an idea, like a post. I don't know how that shit works.
Dragon.
But yeah, that is it for this episode, guys. Before you head out, do us a favor, leave a like and subscribe down below. Comment what you think about these new DC updates. Do you agree, disagree? What else should DC include in the future of this Gods and Monsters chapter? Follow us on TikTok and Instagram. Links are on the screen and down below. Other than that, I'm Tom. This is Sean, and we'll see you guys next episode. Take care.
Adios.